Podcast sports about sports about sports.
Bop. Howdy, Ags. Welcome to the tailgate, home of Aggie football. Today's episode is brought to you by Matthews Electric, full service electrical contractor in the Brazos Valley. No job too big, no job too small. Call Blaine at 979-220-6403. Light up your home, light up your life. Folks, don't forget to email us at agstailgate@gmail.com. Visit us on the YouTube and subscribe. Number one, don't be surprised if I'm a little distracted today. As you can see, I am not in my normal place. And I do have this beautiful beach next to me ocean that I'm looking at with folks walking down here on the sand and the waves just coming in and just relaxing me today. Uh, less than 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks from kickoff, big time ball game. Notre Dame football coming to Kyle Field. It's gonna be the game of the week. Game day, game day's there that morning. The ESPN crew's all ready to roll. This is gonna be huge. It's the Mike Elko era. We're getting to know Mike and his guys a little bit more every week. We're trying to see what's going on with this team. It's an exciting time for Aggie football. Out from the doldrums of the prior regime, with the words execution being the only thing we always got. We did get a little bit of bad news. Owens, who obviously had huge expectations, this year, out likely for the season, foot injury. Look, is it a big loss? Yeah, it's a big loss. The guy's a supreme athlete. He's going to be a big time part of this program going forward. Le'Veon Moss is going to be the number one back on this team anyway. He was, and he is. Le'Veon Moss is the guy that we need to make sure stays healthy. He's going to be a bell cow on this with this group. EJ Smith is going to take a little bit more slack here because of the fact that he does have some ability to do things in the passing game as well. So, I'm not worried about the tailback position. Would I love to have Owens? Of course. I hope the guy just gets a good recovery, man, and gets ready to roll for next year. He'll be a guy that has an opportunity to be that lead guy next year because Le'Veon Moss is going to have such a big year. He's going to end up getting drafted. He's going to the NFL. That's the kind of player he is. This group will continue to be productive. We just now can't afford any more injuries. And that's the big thing. A couple of comments from the YouTube channel. Really, one I want to focus on. Tibbers12, who left us a little bit of love here at the tailgate. I appreciate that, Tibbers. But he also made an excellent point, man. Something that I hadn't necessarily thought of, man. And so this was a great deal. But he talked about the difference between the press conference with the Aggie coaches, the two coordinators, and obviously Elko, compared to Notre Dame. And he's 100% on point, man. The Aggies very clearly are all on the same page. That coaching staff is keeping things together, right? Everybody is on the same page. You can tell by the way they're talking. You can tell by the things that they're saying. That's a group that's in sync. it's, the head coach, Mike Elko, is in it all, right? He is in it all. But those coordinators are the ones really leading a charge as well, right? So it's not a situation where you find, like our prior regime, oh, I'm just going to give the defense over here and, all I'm going to do is coach quarterbacks. That's not what we're going to see here. Elko is a part of this team. He is the guy. He oversees everything. I know Vine's got a lot of, responsibility on the offense and all that, but trust me, he's a guy that is very aware of everything going on that side of the ball and involved. I'm excited to see this come together. Then you look at what you see from Notre Dame, and they're three guys, right? Obviously, with Freeman as the head coach, more of just kind of a CEO type of guy. But then you have Golden at BC and Denbrock as the offensive coordinator. Denbrock coming from LSU. Like, it feels like they're all just independents. You know, they're all just independents. They're not unified. They're not together, right? Um, it is a little bit more of a jumbled kind of everybody on their own. We've seen this on different staffs where they try to bring in, you know, just guys to handle the coordinator jobs and the head coach sort of, let's go of everything. And I'm not sure it's really ever worked, right? The head coach still has to be involved. Yes, we don't want a Jimbo situation where, he's all he's doing is off. But at the same time, you do need that guy because when you really put together this team, you have to be in sync with your strategy offensively and defensively, and they should, um, you know, sort of help each other, right? And be sort of a united front in that way. So interesting observation. We'll get more into Notre Dame next week, game week, and really do a deep dive on that. But I liked it. I liked it a lot. Thank you, Tibbers. Today's topic, we're going to talk expectations, folks. We're going to talk expectations, offensive expectations, defensive expectations. And we're going to start with the offense today. And the first thing that I want to talk about with this offense. And today's topic, by the way, brought to you by Frida Homes, building Aggie dreams, custom home builders with over 15 years of experience in the Brazos Valley. If you're looking for someone that cares about you and the details you care about, contact Frida Homes, visit them, or give Justin a call at 979-450-4466. When you call, just remember, everyone loves their Frida home. Uh, so, we're talking expectations for this offense. And, the thing that I want to start off with here, because I think this is huge. I think this is huge. I want to start with Connor. Because the more this fall camp goes, the more we see him out there, the more, you know, the more reps he's getting, the more that this team comes together. It is clear. It is very clear. He's the guy. Like, he's the guy. He's the guy. This is his team. This is his offense. And he's always, since the day he got here, right? He's always been an instinctive player. He's always been a guy that kind of feels the game very well. He's got a very good sort of understanding of space and concepts and timing, which is huge, absolutely huge. And I'll tell you, now he's going to get that. He still has that. He has that. But now he's going to put that together with a much more competent play caller, right? A much more imaginative offense, a much more involved sort of scheme, right? And to me, this year, we're going to see him excel in a way that we haven't seen him yet, which is exciting because he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good already. This Colin Klein is going to take him to the next level. Colin Klein is going to take him to the next level. We'll talk about defense later. You look at this offense. Is it the most talented offense we've ever had here at A&M? No, it's not. No, it's not. But it's going to be the best offense we've had here since Jimbo showed up. It's going to be that good. And why? Starts with Connor and Colin Klein being in sync with what's going on the field. And those two guys are going to be the big reason, two of the reasons why this offense is going to take a next step. Colin Klein, right off the bat, is going to bring over the last couple of years, as we watch these guys, they can't finish drives, right? They can't finish drives. They don't score touchdowns. They kicked a lot of field goals, man. A lot of field goals. You don't want the field goal kicker with the most attempts in the country. That's not what you're looking for from your offense, right? That's what we had. And red zone efficiency. This is the key. So when we talk offense and expectations, because of Connor, because of Colin Klein, red zone efficiency through the roof. Going to be through the roof. And I'm excited to see touchdowns, baby. Touch freaking downs. To me, that's going to be the big difference. Yes, is the scheme different for sure. We're going to be talking, a lot more misdirection, motions. The use of two tight end sets is going to be a big part of this, right? And sort of scheming according, double moves, some over the top stuff, a lot more aggressive downfield game to open up things underneath, the little games and things that they like to run, little rubs and screen work, running game, all those things open up with some aggressive downfield stuff. But going back to Connor, this year is going to be his coming out party. And some will say, well, he kind of did that last year, right? He kind of did last year. He had a good year until he got hurt. Yeah, good. This is going to be better. This is going to be better. This is going to be recognized throughout the country. This is going to be, he's on lists. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited that for him. I'm excited about that for him. And the other thing that we've seen so far in fall camp, Reed's going to be a player, buddy. It ain't going to be 2024, hopefully, because Connor's going to stay healthy. But Reed is going to be a player. That dude is an exciting playmaker. He is the next man up. I know Jalen Henderson's there. I understand. I love me some Jalen Henderson. He's going to be sort of the experienced guy in the quarterback room behind Connor and all that. But the next man up is Reed because he's a game changer. He's got something, right? He's got something. He's got a little it in it, a little Johnny in it. Just those types of things. I'm excited to see him on the field in 2025. That team's going to be fun to watch. For now, we've got an excellent situation at quarterback, and that is something that should give you just a lot of excitement about where this Aggie offense is going. Best quarterback play this year. Best quarterback play since Johnny Football. Best quarterback play since Johnny Football. And folks, we've had some decent quarterback play. McKellen Mon comes to mind. This year's quarterback play is going to be the best since Johnny Football. Mark my words. The other thing we need to expect from this offense that we're going to expect from this offense, that I expect from this offense. Look, Le'Veon Moss is going to be a hoss, man. Le'Veon Moss will be a hoss. Print the t-shirts. Print the t-shirts. He is going to be the bell cow. He's going to be the bell cow with some use. Obviously, with Daniels there as this next guy up and getting plenty of reps, including some where they're both in the backfield at the same time. And Smith, more of an alternate sort of guy, right? A little bit more involved maybe in some of the passing game stuff and things of that nature. But Le'Veon Moss is going to be the guy, and he's going to have a big year. I'm telling you right now, he's going to have a big year. Expect it from game number 1 against Notre Dame. We're going to see it. We're going to see it. The other thing I'm really excited about, it's the use of the tight ends. I think with Watson, Theo, Green, you're going to see a lot of 2 tight end sets. And so everybody's been talking about, oh, who's the wide receiver is going to be, this and this and that. Well, when you're using 2 tight ends a lot, the wide receivers don't have to be as prominent. You don't have to have as much depth out there at wide receiver. I'm not worried about the wide receiver group. I'm not. We're going to talk more about that group. But the tight end group is what makes me feel really comfortable. Because we got guys, got a lot of bodies. I didn't even mention Platt, who's another guy that can get on the field. But this is, to me, the best group of tight ends we've had here as far as top to bottom. And I'm excited to see the different things that they do with these tight ends, right? With the motions, with being able to use them as a puller in the run game, the gap schemes, being able to use them as a guy sealing the edge, and then when you pull your lineman around on the outside on the sweep plays, right? Getting full flow one way, and having those tight ends really seal off that edge. A physical guy like Theo to do that, right? And so, you also create numbers at times, because what happens, you can both of those, all those, imagine Green and Watson out there. You can split those guys out wide, and all of a sudden you're in a 4 wide receiver set with guys that can get downfield and catch the football. Get downfield and catch the football. While the defense is sitting there thinking run, 3 linebackers, so on and so forth, aggressive, safety in the box. And your personnel allows you to go explosive over the top in those situations because of Watts, because of Green, right? Those guys can do both things. And so the motions, the shifts, the different things that you can do with that, getting them across the formation at times, doing, bringing them under the line and doing those types of things gives you a lot of schematic advantages, right? Schematic advantages. We always talk about with offense, and especially the blocking scheme, right? Where's the angles? What do your angles look like? It's a lot harder to try to get to a guy, and if you're trying to get to him on the right when he's already lined up to your right. It's easier to seal him, block down when we have those angles. Can we create some gaps in the front, right? So where the A gap's open, the B gap's open, where that defensive line C gap gets opened up, because that defensive line now has spread a little. Tight ends allow you to do that, right? Tight ends create that extra surface, that extra man surface out there. And that's one of the big reasons why those 2 tight end sets can be extremely valuable. If you've got the guys, right? If you're not going to lose something by putting those guys out there, if it's not going to limit you to just run the run game, right? We're talking about situations in which you can still you get these advantages in the run game and still use the passing game. If they decide to then come and take some of those away because they bring their safeties in the box, add another linebacker in there, then, then, boom, attack, attack, right? And to me, there it is. That's a big thing. And with Jimbo, you weren't going to get that creativity, those types of things that are coming off of those personnel groupings, right? You just weren't going to get that. Colin Klein is going to expose some of those matchups. I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. Let's go to the wide receivers because there's been a lot of talk. What's going on with the wide receivers? Are we worried about that group? What's the deal, right? I'm very comfortable, and we're gonna probably see regularly 4-man rotations, and even with 2 tight end sets, right? Like you're in really good shape with Walker. You're in really good shape with Thomas. You're in really good shape with Moose, Allen. Those guys 100% are going to be your top 4. Those are your guys right there. Those are your top 4. But some different type of athletes and players are out there as well. Micah Tease is a guy that had kind of fallen behind a little bit. Boy, he really has taken the leap here the last week or so and starting to show some things. And I think he's coming on. I like that because Micah brings a speed element that's pretty impressive. But he's not only just speed, he started to really show his hands, man, making some nice plays, some nice catches. And so he adds an element. Obviously, Barber, when he comes back, is going to be another guy that gives you an explosive element as well and a playmaker out there. But right now he's out. So that's not it, right? These guys that we're talking about right now, that's the group that you really, really love. And then there's a couple of young guys that are probably going to get some reps in there as far as, a few. And the reason being is that they have come out and worked their butts off. Ashton Beth Johnson, right? Williams, another guy, right? Those guys have come up and really shown something from a young guy willing to put in the time to work to do the things that they got to do to get on the field. So that's a big thing about it too. They will get some reps because you know what? Those guys need to start developing as well. They need to be part of this because next year they're going to have to be a bigger part of this. They're going to get some time. But the core is going to be those first 4, right? Going to be those first 4. And I'm excited about that group. You got size with Walker. You got size with Thomas. You got Moose, who's an absolute monster with his hands. I mean, that dude, unreal. Unreal. And Allen, I think, is going to give us some of the burst. I think he's going to give us some of the burst and a little bit of a different kind of playmaker, right? And so with those 4, you got some different type of, athletic ability, and you can use them in different ways with the scheme, right? So the wide receiver group is in pretty good shape, if you ask me. And now you've added Terry Bussey. Now you've added Bussey, who's getting reps offensively. Look, he's not going to get the entire playbook. He's not going to get the entire playbook. But the cool part about what Bussey's going to come in here and do is he's just a premier athlete. Premier athlete. And so they're going to create a specific set of plays and that for him, right? To get him the ball, get him in there. He can line up in the backfield. He can line up in the slot. He can line up. You can throw him in motion. You can hand him the football. You can put him at quarterback, right? You can do all kinds of different things with this guy. But I think the cool part's going to be week to week, just a little package for Bussy. You don't want to overwhelm him, but you want to get him the ball. You want to get him the ball and explosive plays. Get him down the field some. I'm excited to see the times he's on the field because something's coming. You know what I mean? Something's coming. Be ready. Be ready. Or or he's your distraction, right? He's your distraction. Huge, 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 huge. That group of playmakers is more than enough. More than enough. It's a group to be excited about. This Aggie fandom, this Aggie community, the fanatics should be getting excited about this group of skill players, man. They should be getting excited about getting the ball into the end zone. That's going to be awesome. Look, I know everybody's wondering, okay, he hadn't said a thing about the offensive line. You know, I'm an offensive line guy, man. You know, that's my dude. Those are my guys. There's no question. The offensive line is the weakest unit on the team on either side of the ball or special teams. The offensive line right now is the weakest unit on this team, either side of the ball or special teams. But you know what? They're still better than they were last year. They're still better. They're going to be better than they were last year. And that already is big, right? They were horrible last year. They can't do anything but be better. My question is this going to be a good offensive line, just barely good? Or is this going to be an above average, better than good offensive line? I'm not sure that I have it anywhere in my sort of range that they're going to be great, excellent, Joe Moore Award winning. No, I don't think so. It's not what I think. But they're going to be good. Can they be better than that? The question, reality comes right tackle. Who steps up and fills that hole? Because it looks like they're still toying around with different lineups with Reed Adams out there, you know. And if he takes the role, then and he steps up the game at right tackle, then I think we got a chance to be better than good. Bothery takes that right tackle spot and really takes advantage of better coaching and all that stuff. Can he be the guy that makes this offensive line better than good? But right now, that's the position. That's the position. We're going to be look. Trey Zune's going to be fine at left tackle. We've got the guys in the middle, in the trenches. The guys competing at center. It's still undecided, but they're competing. Those two guys are going to be fine. Who takes the right tackle spot? That's the question. That's the question. And then obviously it could change who's your guard, whatever, right? But you got guys in there. You got Dewberry in there as well. I'm not worried about that one. Right tackle is going to be huge. They're still going to be better than last year, but it's still the weakness of this team. It is. Either way, because of Klein, this team is going to do a significantly better job of getting in the end zone, and that is the important part. That's my expectation. Moving on to defense. This defensive line is nasty. Nasty, 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 man. This is going to be the group that drives this team. Shamar Turner, Stewart, Scorton, Hicks, Johnson, Regis, Howell, Kennedy, Silla. Just impressive. It's impressive. You got guys that are big and powerful on the inside, athletic and explosive on the outside, and a few guys that can do both, right? Turner, Stewart, Scorton, Hicks, all those guys. I mean, you come in and out. NASCAR package, baby. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about seeing the play-to-play changes based off of situations. Situational football and packages. With this group of defensive linemen, man, you can come at people from all freaking directions, and every offensive line we play is going to have a hard time. Hard time. Texas's offensive line, everybody loves them. Hard time. LSU's offensive line, hard time. This defensive line will be nasty. Will be nasty. Quarterbacks are not going to be comfortable. The running game is going to be difficult. I'm excited about this defensive line. I'm excited not only about the first level guys, about the depth on this group, right? Like, I'm excited about probably 3 levels deep, man. It's just incredible. What a great, great group of talent with differing skill sets as well, so that you can play different matchups and schemes and different things down to down, drive to drive, whatever it may be, right? Situational. And with a staff that likes to do that, that likes to do situation, that likes to be specific about the way they attack things based on when it's happening. The most improved group on this team, hands down, is the defensive backfield. Most improved group on this team is the defensive backfield. Partially because of the coaching. Big part because of the coaching. This is a group that, unlike last year, is going to start making plays on the ball. Making plays on the ball. We didn't do that at all in the past. The last few years, there was a lot of times we were in the right position. Did we get burnt some? Yeah, sure. There's times we were in the right position, though. Just didn't make a play on the ball. This group is going to make plays on balls. I'm excited to see these DBs. I'm excited to see them work because we got guys that can do everything out there, man. We got, look, guys like Lee, like Mays with experience, and then supreme athletes, big time athletes like Javon Thomas, like Ricks. Ricks is going to be a part of this thing, right? That's exciting, man. The nickel spot. Man, am I excited about that group. Chappelle is going to be a player at that nickel spot. Man, he is. I mean, he's been a starter for this team since his freshman year. The dude has been excellent playmaker, but now he gets to take his physical play that he absolutely has demonstrated over the last couple of years to take it into that nickel spot. And now you got a guy that can cover. You got a guy that can come off the edge. You got a guy that's a good enough athlete to do everything you need him to. He's physical. I'm excited to see him play at this spot, and I expect that he's going to have a lot more turnover-worthy plays, making plays to create turnovers from the nickel spot, right? Opportunities. He's got to have this. He has the skill set, right? Now he's going to be put in a position where he can use some of the instincts as well and be able to make turnover quality plays. That's huge. Huge, 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 huge. You know, he's just a player, just a freaking player. And then you add to that Anderson in the backfield as the safety, sort of the eraser for this group. Anderson, who's going to be big time on the back end. And next to him, the longer this thing goes, the more I see him, the more he practices, the more he's in this scheme, the more he gets comfortable. Brooks is looking better and better, man. And he's a dude, right? He's a dude. As far as like athlete, he's a dude. And you know what he's been needing is the consistency as far as the read react, right? And it's repetition, right? Getting in the right place every time. And you're starting to see him do that. Now you've got a great athlete also executing the play as it's supposed to, reading and reacting, right? Quicker. Because everybody talks about, oh, this guy's so fast. This guy's so fast. It doesn't matter how fast he is if if he cannot react quicker, right? You can save a full second reaction time, man. Full second. You're not going to run from a 4-4 to a 4, a 5-4, a 4-4 to a 3-4. Reaction time, man. That's the key. And as he gets more and more comfortable, I think this secondary gets better, right? It's better. Where does Trey Jones fit into that? Where does Ratcliffe fit into that? Those guys are going to be part of the mix, but I feel like your two main guys, as this thing goes forward, it's going to be in the backfield. It's going to be Anderson, and it's going to be Brooks. And they'll be able to support that cornerback group that is Mays, that is Javon Thomas, that is Lee, that is Ricks. Bussy in time, he's going to get his time out there. But Bussy right now, as good of an athlete as he is, really isn't needed at corner right now. Not needed at corners. Why you're seeing him take some more reps at offense, right? It's not necessary for him to get those reps. I'm excited about that group 100%. Once again, is linebacker the question? And, we came in and everybody's very comfortable with Torian York. And Torian York is going to be the leader of this defense. He's going to get them lined up. He's going to call the plays. He's going to do all those things. He is your in-the-box, downhill linebacker. That is his role. He's super smart. He's going to be in the right place, the right time. He's great reaction. He's not the best athlete on the field. Let me just say that. Not the best athlete on the field. But the dude, just like we talked about with the reaction time and safety, the dude is going to react, and he's going to come downhill. Torian York, nobody's worried about. We love him. We think he's going to be one of the best linebackers in the SEC. That's going to be great. Who is the other guy? Who is the other guy? And this guy has to be more of a sideline to sideline athletic type linebacker. It's got to be somebody that's got that skill set. The good thing is we've got some of those guys. Is it Williams, Scooby, right? Is it Scooby? The Shield, another guy, Sanford. All three of those guys, much better athletes. Now, because of the scheme that these guys are running, because of the scheme that Elko runs, there's a lot, those guys have a lot of responsibility, right? Because of the fact that because of Elko's tendency to do a lot of moving up front and doing different things, those linebackers have to make sure that they adjust and understand and know where is their hole. What gap are they responsible to in the process of scraping over the top? Or are they the guy that has to, come through the C gap? Are they the guy that's, having to get to the outside and be the contained guy because the defensive end is crashing, right? And that is the big deal. So this group has to be very comfortable with the scheme, and they have to be athletic. They're not going to be the guy that's just downhill all day, right? They're going to be sideline to sideline. They're going to have to pick up the back out of the backfield. They're going to have to get and scrape over the top. They're going to have to do those things, and they got to be athletic enough to do those things to get there. And not only that, they're going to have to recognize it, see it, and react. And that group, those three guys, they're right now getting more and more comfortable. I think that's a great group. Is it Cooper from last year? No. But I'm no longer as worried about that group of linebackers as I was at some point. I actually think that they've got a chance to be pretty solid with an amazing defensive line in front of them that's going to help them look even better, with good safety play behind them that's going to make them look even better. The linebacker crew is going to be fine. This defense is going to be nasty. It's going to be nasty. The collection of talent with different skill sets allows for matchups and schematic differences. And I mean, I don't know that we've ever had this level of personnel with the different types of skill sets and athleticism and at this level ever. Elko and his group obviously got to put it all together. But as far as just the level of talent and the depth of the talent that's going to allow for different schematic changes week to week, the skills that these guys have, nah, man, I don't think we've ever had them. I'm excited for the Stevens. Expectations, man. Expectations. Aggie fans have expectations, and they should. The Fanatics need to get up and roar, baby, because it is time. It is time for those expectations to be met. Some questions from the tailgate. More likely win, LSU, Mizzou, Texas. I've said it before. We can win every game we play. There's not a team on this schedule that we can't beat. But if you ask me which one of these, I think it's a clear answer. I think it's LSU. I don't even think it's all that close, right? I think LSU is a team that's getting a lot of credit right now, a lot of overrated credit. You know, Nuss is going to be good at finding a quarterback, but he doesn't have those same wide receivers. He doesn't have the same offense coordinator. Their running game has been crap. That offense has taken a step back. And last year's defense was one of the worst in the country. And they haven't added a tremendous amount of talent that's going to change that, especially up front. I think this team, LSU, is going to have a little bit of a down year. And I think I most likely win LSU. And we get them in Caulfield. Get all three of those in Caulfield. But specifically LSU, which we beat them at Caulfield for the last however many years. That's exciting. That's exciting. That's big. Question 2. Where do you expect the defense to rank in the SEC? You know, a lot of people, obviously everybody blows up Georgia. You know, Tennessee getting pub out there, Kentucky getting pub out there, Oklahoma getting a huge amount of pub out there. Even Ole Miss getting some pub, adding some of the pieces, one of the guys we know very well. Texas obviously getting pub out there with it. A&M's going to be the best defense in the SEC. I'm calling it right now. Calling it right now. Book it. Make the bet. Number 1 defense in the SEC, Texas A&M. Done. Done. Better than Georgia. That's right. You heard it. Heard it here. Well, Ags, that's what I got this week. Got a little bit of a beach thing going on right now, so I'm gonna go do that. Go do that. Gig 'em Ags, AP from the tailgate. We're out.